Hey Siri, what is the definition of pavon?
Okay, I found this on the web for Hey Siri, what is the definition of pavon? Check it out.
Wow. Hello there, heroes. I'm the Orange Ranger, and welcome to another comically long review. A lesser focused on aspect of these Boom Power Rangers comics has been the reinvention of Bulk and Skull. In these enlightened times, it's harder for us to feel any sort of affection towards characters that are just straight up bullies. So we've gotten more of a season 2 or 3 Bulk and Skull. Characters that are comedic and annoying, but not mean-hearted and kind of doing their own thing and having a purpose all their own. I'll be the first to admit that when they pop up in the comics, I have a tendency to kind of brush past them unless they have a direct impact on the plot of the story, such as when Bulk ran for prom or Homecoming King or whatever it was a while back. Today, I do not have that option. Today, the Power Rangers are the background characters, while the main plot focuses on one Farkas Bulkmeyer and one Eugene Skulovich. Heroes, let's take a look at Go-Go Power Rangers, issue number 24. So, as we start in with the covers, I have to put forward a correction that I'm shocked nobody called me out on. Last time, I said the missing cover for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 43 was the album cover. And that's because I got the two series covers mixed up. It's Go-Go that gets the album covers, along with social media and yearbook photo covers. MMPR gets the foil helmet covers and the trading card covers.
Get on with it!
The social media cover is Zach announcing that he's adding the Goldar Flex to his next Hip Hop Keto class, along with Matt asking for some pointers, Rocky asking if it's new cardio, and Skull saying Zach's class is better than Jason's, tagging him with a devil emoji. Moving to the album cover, because Go-Go is the one with the album covers, I ran into an interesting problem. If I'm not familiar with the album being referenced, it can be a bear trying to figure that information out. The cover is never named directly after the album, maybe a copyright thing. I had to search for the comic's title and the artist's name, and then in the comments of a site that has comments on that sort of thing, found out that this is Siamese Dreams, Smashing Pumpkins' second album. The yearbook photo is also Zach, his quote showing off his humor and confidence. That brings us to the main cover, and I like it, despite not being in love with the concept. Spoilers. The Rangers rush into battle with a big lion-looking monster, Bulk and Skull filming nearby. I did wonder what Bulk was looking at, but if you follow his eyes up, you can see Billy's arm. Also, this preview of the cover is actually zoomed out more than the cover itself. Here, I'll show you. The art for the main cover looks more like this.
Would thou care to pavane, good ranger?
Hey Siri, what is the definition of pavane?
Pavon means a stately dance in slow duple time, popular in the 16th and 17th centuries and performed in elaborate clothing.
Well, there you go. The eloquent monster is facing off with the Red Dragon Thunderzord, seen through Skull's camera as Bulk urges him to hurry. The monster knocks over some rubble falling near Skull. He's okay, and they keep looking for a place to get a clear shot, though Skull thinks some putties may be approaching. But it's not. It's 3 other kids on electric scooters. They race past the 2, calling them losers, and telling them to leave this to the professionals. Skull asks what their next move is, and Bulk says it's whatever they have to do. Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Nice transition, have to admit, as we jump back a few days. Wait. Go-Go Power Rangers started in the present day and then went back in time? Doesn't that shatter the formula like the proverbial grid? Anyway, Bulk and Skull are working on their show, Ranger Station, interviewing Matt in a bit to be played before footage of another fight. He starts to answer their question, but then they see Trini and leap over to her, since she was at the nature outreach when War Bunny attacked, so she is an eyewitness. She starts to say that it's just like she told the Ranger report, and Bulk asks what that is. Skull pulls it up on his phone as Trini explains that they streamed that whole fight on their channel, and the local news station aired their clips and her interview on the morning news. Okay, I'm kind of a media news guy, and I have some thoughts on this. On one hand, I do understand a station not wanting to get their reporters that close to what is a very dangerous situation. So the appeal of getting footage from amateur documentation is, well, appealing. However, A, there is no danger involved in interviewing survivors, which the station would absolutely have one of their own reporters do so they could control the questions. And B, there are some stations, and I'm sure there are some in Los Angeles, that'd be more than happy to send their reporters into that very situation. Trini says she has to go, acknowledging how the two must feel now that people are moving in on their turf. Bulk finds them stupid and amateurish, but Skull admires their film work and points out that they have almost as many subscribers as Ranger Station does. And both stations have a lot more subscribers than I do, but they're fake and I'm moving on. So, Ranger Report is apparently run by a rich kid named Brady, and Bulk is not going down without a fight. Did anybody happen to notice that Brady looks kind of familiar? Because I sure absolutely did not at all whatsoever. No, I only realized this when it was pointed out on Twitter by the writer Ryan Parrott. Brady is not a brand new character. Brady has been a part of this story literally from the beginning. Brady is in Go-Go Power Rangers issue number 1, the band kid that Zach hooked up with clarinet lessons. And then he's also in Forever Rangers as an enthusiastic Power Rangers fan. Nice world building! Skull proposes collaborating with them, but Bulk won't have it. He says all they need is that one perfect, dangerous shot that stations will scramble for, turning Ranger Station into a monopoly. Skull is nervous about getting that close to a Ranger fight, and Bulk says they just have to be prepared. Bulk has gathered some supplies, most of which he plans to return afterwards, so no breaking anything. He's also getting notifications from the Angel Grove Police Twitter and followed every seismologist in the area. Skull gets into the spirit, saying he can make a list of the tallest buildings in town where they can get good shots. We flash forward a bit, I guess, as the well-spoken monstrosity starts attacking the city, already giant-sized. Was there a ground-sized battle before this? Who cares? This is a Bulk and Skull story, remember? They head out, but run headlong into Brady and his 2 cohorts, snotty and annoying and condescending. They take off, their electric scooters giving them a big speed edge. Bulk and Skull get to ground zero of the latest fight. Weird. At this angle, the Griffin and Lion Thunderzords look like they're a single Zord. Anyway, a cop is there keeping people out of the area. They start filming, not a good shot, but the cop puts his hand over the camera. He tells them to leave, and while Bulk tries to explain why they are filming, like the reason would help in the slightest, the monster knocks over a sign, a big letter T falling on a car right nearby. Bulk and Skull use the distraction to get behind the barricade and run in. Here's where we get this monster's name, and it is a doozy. Heroes, this is Lady Grump Truck. Lady Grump Truck. Moving on, they get in perfect position for a ground shot, but the monster falls over and kicks up some dust, ruining it. Skull suggests a warehouse where they attended a rave. They head to the roof of the warehouse and indeed have the perfect vantage point, seeing the Thunder Megazord locked in battle with the monster. Indeed, as the punches fly, they have the perfect shots. Though I think they need to adjust the lens, because here it looks like the Thunder Megazord has the Tiger Zord's shoulders. Skull says there's a problem, and Bulk says, yeah, the Megazord's on the ground. But no, Skull sees something else. Skull is panicked, and Bulk thinks that Brady's crew is coming to co-opt their shot, but no, this is serious. Skull has spotted a group of people trapped against a fence in an alley filling with smoke and debris. For several panels, Bulk tries to stall on doing the right thing. First he says they'll be fine, then that they'll go help just as soon as the Rangers finish off the monster. He even tells Skull to just go and save them, but he's not letting Brady win. He says this is their moment. And Skull says he knows that. Finally, Bulk is convinced, saying he's still leaving the camera rolling as they go. Bulk and Skull call out to the group, leading them towards the fence, which Bulk is clipping open. We cut back and forth from them helping the group and Skull's go cam. Wow, that go cam sure is a pro camera, eh? Documenting the action. As the group escapes to safety, the Rangers get the upper hand back, and they finish the monster off. Bulk asks if Skull is happy they saved the group, and he says not to worry, he's sure everything worked out. The smashed camera, missing the final slash by the Rangers, would disagree. The thing here is, it really should have worked out. Yes, I understand that the camera was smashed, but A, that thing is a GoPro, or excuse me, a GoCam, one of the most durable cameras on the market, and would provide a lot of protection to B, an SD card. Surely this thing has some form of data storage. So they didn't get the finishing slash. I'm sure they still have the best footage of the fight that is available. But no, of course, the news yet again uses Brady's footage, but what I do like is that it is clearly inferior footage, shot from the ground a few blocks away. However, proving one of my earlier points, the station has sent a reporter to interview Brady, giving Ranger Report all of the publicity once again. Brady's even a real snot about it, giving an obviously prepared speech about respecting the Rangers and feeling a duty to document their bravery. And if that happens to make them heroes, well then who are they to argue? Right, Bulk? Bulk watches the news report at the juice bar, clearly pissed off and crestfallen. Ernie tells him that he's heard Brady's crew weren't the only ones around that fight, and that maybe these other kids even saved some people. Bulk says that and $300 would get him a new camera. This confirms that it was him, and Ernie offers to let him try a brand new shake with peanut butter, jelly, banana, whey protein, almond milk, chia seeds, and a little bit of chili pepper for a kick. He thinks he's going to call it Bulk's Guts. Skull is on one of the arcade machines when a young woman with familiar blue hair approaches him. She blocks half of his face with her hand and realizes he's one of the guys that saved her. The two ran off so fast that they never got to say thank you. Yes, heroes, this is Candace. Skull starts to introduce himself as Skull, but a girl this pretty should get his real name, well, the short version of his real name, so it comes out as Skull Jean. She tells him she's leaving, but she hopes that they can see each other around sometime. He jokes about there not being buildings falling around them when they do. She smiles, joking back that that was too soon. The minor high of having a milkshake named after him that I seriously half expect to see someone order in the next issue of MMPR has faded for Bulk. Skull tries to get Bulk to see the moral of the day here. Sure, they lost out on money and fame, they were embarrassed on TV, lost their camera, but they are far cooler than Brady and the Rangers combined, because Brady might have money and the Rangers might have armor and robots, but they have each other.
The words, "how cute," muttered through clenched teeth.
This is a hard story for me to review because I actually loved everything about it. Bulk and Skull are characterized very well, and their eventual turn to heroics over their own fame neatly mirrors what we know about them from the TV show. Bringing back Brady and giving him a larger role gives the story a nice antagonist and gives us a reason to root for the two. And while they didn't get the triumphant ending, their friendship is the start and end of these characters. So, if I can name so many positive things about this issue,
Then why is my outstretched palm still indifferently horizontal?
I will now list for you in full detail the relevant to the greater plot elements of this issue. Item 1. This is how Skull met Candace.
That's all, folks.
When I read this issue for the first time in my car outside the comic shop, because yeah, that's how I roll, y'all, I had this immediate thought when I finished it. I would have loved this story if it had been part of the 2019 Power Rangers Annual that we don't seem to have gotten. Or, even better than that, the 25th Anniversary Special. It is a great look at who Bulk and Skull are, especially in the Boom comics. A perfect encapsulation of these characters. And taking it one step further, I've said before that I like stories like TNG's Lower Decks, which I've mentioned in other reviews, where the characters that we've spent time with are in the background, and some newer, smaller characters get a little time in the spotlight. But that's the thing. When you do that kind of story, you're not pushing the plot forward. And when it's an episode of a TV show that you're watching on the TV for free, that's fine. Heck, look at Star Trek Discovery. They're doing these little short vignettes called short treks, which are stories that involve other characters. And that's fine because it's away from the main plot. This issue reminded me of a couple of the early issues of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers where they just pushed pause on the plot to give us a focus story about one of the Rangers. That irritated me as well, but at least it was about one of the Rangers. This is about two side characters that are mainly seen for comic relief. This issue feels like it was made out of some sense of obligation, or to answer the question, hey, wouldn't it be neat if? But again, those types of stories are what annual editions are for. All this leads to is a 2-month cliffhanger to find out how Go-Go's story keeps going. Just focusing directly on the characters themselves, this might be the perfect Bulk and Skull story. But as the latest issue of Go-Go Power Rangers, this was empty and meaningless. So, I'm gonna average empty and perfect. Go-Go Power Rangers issue 24 gets a score of 2.5 out of 5. Next time on a comically long review, while the Omega Rangers stew over the unjust dumpstering of Kavotis, that's a tongue twister for you, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers are pinned in their Megazord by a giant Dane. Let's get back to issues that actually push the plot forward by seeing what happens when two teams become one in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue number 44. Oh, right, let's talk about when that review is coming out. You see, there's a little scheduling quirk here. October this year has 5 Wednesdays, Wednesday being New Comic Book Day. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comes out on the last Wednesday of the month, not necessarily always the 4th Wednesday. So, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue 44 is coming out on October 30th, and thus will be reviewed during the week of November 3rd. So, does that mean you're not getting a comically long review in 2 weeks?
No.
Actually, no. There is going to be a comically long review on the week of October 27th. What am I going to be reviewing? Well, heroes, that's the week of Halloween, a time of spirits and specters. So I thought it would be the perfect time for me to review something with a little bit of soul. That is going to do it for another comically long review. Heroes, thank you so much as always for watching. In the comments below, let me know what you thought of this issue as well as my review of it. Did you like the plot taking a time out to give us a nice little Bulk and Skull story? Or like me, did you feel like this was something more befitting and off the main line issue? Let me know down in those comments below. While you're down there, make sure you smack that thumbs up button and let me know that you enjoyed this video. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel to see all of my videos and ring that bell. Get your notifications set up so you'll be notified whenever I post brand new videos, such as these comically long reviews. And if you'd like to lend any financial support to the channel, consider becoming one of my patrons on Patreon. You can head to patreon.com/orangerangervideos to see all of my various tiers and get all the information you could possibly need about that. If you're not ready to commit to Patreon's monthly game, head on over to ko-fi.com/orangerangervideos where you can buy me a coffee. They are so imaginarily delicious. I set it down right there as I tell you that those are set at $3 a piece, and I greatly appreciate any financial support I find at any of those sources. Until next time, heroes, may the power protect you. When they pop up in the comics, I'll admit I tend to kind of brush past them when reviewing them, except today the Power Rangers will be the background characters, while the story the eloquent monster is facing off with the Red Dragon Thunderzorn, seen through Skull's camera as Bulk. The eloquent monster is facing off with the Red Dragon Thunderzorn. Nice transition, have to admit, as we, yeah, but the thing is that's, I do understand on one hand that it is, so the appeal of getting amateur, he tells them, Paige, he says they'll be fine, that they'll, he tries to get Skull, the minor high of having a milkshake named for him that I seriously half expect to see. I will now list for you in detail the plot elements of this story that are relevant to the greater plot of Go-Go Power Rangers and the Boom Comics Power. I will now list for you in detail the... When I read this issue for the first time in my car, you see, there's a little... When you ad-lib, you fuck. I think it's the perfect time for me to review something with a little bit of soul. I have to do that take again because that was the worst wink ever.